Now, do I want you to do a deep dive and get into the weeds with these? No. What I want you to know at this point is that these are all immune cells. So what are immune cells? These are the ones that are defending your body against diseases and pathogens. And all of these are involved in your immune response. Now, do you have to know the very big details? Well, let's just talk about macrophages very briefly. So macrophages. So macro is actually a very useful Greek root word meaning big. So if you think about macronutrients, you're thinking about big nutrients, right? So phage is also a Greek word that means eat. And this is also, I think, someone asked a very interesting question about like why we use a lot of Greek and Latin words. Well, I think a lot of times is like we can combine these words and very rarely, like usually if you have a Greek root word, you match it with other Greek modifiers. You don't mix and match Greek and Latin. So you don't say like I'm having a neoplasty. You don't say I'm having a nephrectomy or something weird like that. So I think that's why we use Greek and Latin a lot for consistency. Or you might have seen this yogurt. So what we have is I think we pronounce it phi. I don't speak Greek, but it's kind of interesting. Like the Greek letter phi, it can be romanized as either F or PH, but this is literally eat yogurt. So this is why I think that. So what they do is that they eat things like pathogens that cause disease, damaged cells, or debris that happens to be floating around in their tissues. And these may be stationary or mobile, so sometimes they just hang out in one place. So I like to also think not only are they there to kind of like garbage disposals, but maybe they're like kind of like security guards, or if you've been to like Disneyland or some of those theme parks, sometimes you have like janitors that just stay in one place and they kind of pick up trash as they see it. Or there's some people who actively like walk around and pick up trash around the area. So macrophages are kind of like that. They're kind of like security, but also cleaners as well. Now, melanocytes, don't worry too, or well, you will cover this in the next few lectures. But melanocytes, so these are cells that produce something called melanin. And this is where you have to kind of watch out because melanin is a chemical, melanocytes are cells. And again, what's the dead giveaway? This is a cell, it has that root word cyte. So this is why we have the spectrum of skin tones over here. All of these kids have different levels of melanin. So, or concentrations of melanin. And what is melanin? It's actually not one specific chemical, but refers to a class of chemicals. There's like brown, like blackish brown versions of melanins, and there's also red versions of melanin as well. I think the OpenStax book covers things like eumelanin, pheomelanin. I think that's a little complex at this point. I mean, it's good to know, but you should just know like melanin is responsible for our skin tone, our hair color. That's why some people have black hair, some people have ehu and red hair, and other types of hair as well.